Hello there guys, it's Stephen here, back with my first video in about a week. I've had a very busy week. I've been away doing stuff for my anniversary and just life and my band and so on. But I'm back after a very encouraging and very exciting and very comfortable in the end 2-0 victory down on the south coast. The crisis club, Manchester City, are back up in second and only 8 points off Chelsea. We've been here before, haven't we, in the past? But I'm going to do a bumper long video. I'm going to discuss all aspects of the game because I've been away from my videos this week from YouTube. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to discuss the game in a little bit of detail and just catch up with all you beautiful people because I'm in a good mood after that, and rightly so. There's loads of talking points from this game. There's Caballero, there's the back four, there's the back three, there's Fernandinho at left back, there's Sterling's form, there's Aguero's lack of form but then coming back into form maybe, there's the Gabriel Jesus injury, there's Sane's continued brilliance, there's Silva being majestic. There's basically a lot of talking points, and is the title race back on? But I'm going to start with the actual performance in general. It was solid, it was competent, it was professional, it was a very good, serious, considered, intelligent performance against a decent team. I didn't think Bournemouth played badly by any stretch of the imagination. I thought they pressed pretty hard, I thought they worked well in midfield. Wilshere was pretty good in the first half until Silva ended him with that kind of spin where it looked like he actually ended his career again, nearly. But yeah, Wilshere did alright in the first half, and Sermon, Arthur, they kind of ran a phobia when he came on. He was running pretty well and pressing and causing our back line. He made him work, put it that way. But see, we're just too slick in the end. We're just too good. We were focused. We had a game plan. We executed it well. It was a little bit confusing initially looking at all those defenders and all those midfielders, all those forwards, working out where it was going to play. But it turned out in the end it was Fernandinho at left back. And in general, it worked. I thought Fernandinho was good. Obviously, he isn't a left back by trade, and there are some slight deficiencies. Maybe one or two times he was caught a little bit flat-footed, but that's going to happen, I guess, when you've not played there before and you've not had a huge amount of games in a row. But he looked solid, he looked intelligent, he played a couple of lovely balls, one in particular over to Sterling, which maybe he should have done a little bit better with, but he was strong in the tackle, he was precise, he was intense, all the intensity you'd expect from someone like him, and he's showing why people like Guardiola love him, because he's an intelligent player, the kind of player that you have to have in your squad, the player that a manager loves. And Fernandinho, maybe he isn't quite the same level of ability as Philip Lahm, but not many are. But I'm pretty certain Pep will talk about him very glowingly a few years from now when he's eventually moved on, because Fernandinho is our manager's dream, and he's still very much a City hero. He's still very much one of our main players. He was excellent. Raheem Sterling, the man who apparently is overrated and crap, he was once again excellent. I am delighted for the young man. I'm delighted for him. I went a bit Ray Wilkins there with the young man stuff. I can speak, I'm 31. But I'm delighted for him. I thought he was excellent. His work rate, his desire, that is never in question. He always gives 110%. And on nights like tonight, he scored a goal, unlucky as well, with a deflected shot that hit the post. Obviously, he had an assist where he was breaking ankles once again for Aguero's goal, which was Aguero's goal in my opinion. But yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. You can undervalue Sterling so easy and say maybe he lacks a little bit of hesitancy going forward, and perhaps he does. But you can't question the shape that he brings to this team. He always works. He's always there for the ball. He's always running behind. He's always giving defenders basically a nightmare, because you have to be on him. It's invaluable to have a player who you know will be reliable, who will at least be a 7 out of 10. And Raheem Sterling for me always is at least a 7 out of 10. And I was delighted for him. Obviously, we've all seen that nonsense about that guy who was meant to be better than Raheem Sterling when Sterling left Liverpool, Jordan Ibe. Did anyone see him tonight? I know he got subbed off with about half an hour left, and he was in home or in an ice bath somewhere when Raheem was picking up the Man of the Match award. So don't forget, kids, Jordan Ibe is better than Raheem Sterling. Obviously, as well, there's the big blow with Gabriel Jesus. I couldn't believe it when he went down, and just like, no, this is happening. I hope it isn't one of those niggly injuries that affects every City player, where they hang around for ages and then they scrape to get back their form. I'm hoping it's just a little bit of a superficial cut, because I saw a bit of blood on his sock, and he'll be back soon if that's the case. But he was looking bright already in the few minutes he was on the pitch. But I think it was notable to me that when Sergio came on, he looked nervous. Now, this says a few things to me about Aguero. He is a confidence player. You can visibly see when he's not looking comfortable. And Aguero wasn't comfortable for a large part of that game. He looked ready to come on, but then the occasion seems to get to him a little bit. He's admitted himself in the past that he isn't the most confident player, that he does get nervous sometimes. He's even said, quite interestingly, to the Argentine press, that sometimes he feels like he's a bad player when he's playing for Argentina. I'm sure someone like Messi or Ronaldo never feels like they're a bad player, even if they have a bad game. Aguero does. I think in general, he does question himself. I think he has some doubts, which is probably mad when you look how good he is as a footballer, but I think it does affect him. And I think maybe his confidence has been knocked a little bit by this young Brazilian confident upstart who's taken to this league like a young Aguero did. Maybe he's looked at him and had maybe a little bit jealousy in a good way, but maybe he is a little bit insecure about his situation at Man City. And for the first half an hour he was on the pitch, he looked slow, he looked cumbersome, he looked like he hadn't quite adapted to life as a part-time player for Manchester City. I've got a theory that in general Aguero needs to adapt to the fact that he's not quite as fast as he once used to be. When he looks slow and when he looks like he's taking too many touches, if you think of Aguero 3 years ago, that wouldn't have been too many touches because he would have been past 2 or 3 players anyway, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But now he doesn't quite have that pace, so he doesn't get past the players. Aguero needs to kind of adapt to his new situation after all the injuries. He still is a phenomenal player, and I'm delighted he scored that goal. He looked absolutely buzzing. He was adamant that his touch was going towards the goal, and I'm pretty certain it was as well. He needed that. You could visibly see the weight of the world lift off his shoulders, and he looked sharp, he looked vibrant, and he looked like it meant a lot to him. Aguero, you don't just become a bad finisher over the night. No change of pace, nothing like that happens. It's all in your head, and Aguero needs confidence. I'm almost certain that if he adapts to the fact that maybe he's not quite as fast as he was, he's not mega slow, but if he's not quite as fast as he was, if he adapts to that, his finishing is still there. There is still very much a world with Aguero if he's willing to accept it. I hope he doesn't go. I worry he may do. I worry that he thinks he can't be bothered with a challenge at this age of his career. He might just want to move on, and City do respect him. And he might think, I can't be bothered with this anymore, I'm tired, and I want to go somewhere and get guaranteed first team football. If he does that, I'll be devastated. If he stays and fights for his place, I'll be delighted. Aguero needs to make himself undroppable, but he needs to do a Lewandowski. He needs to be the kind of man who goes through patches when he's scoring 5 goals in one game. He's done it before, like Lewandowski did at Bayern. He can do it. He can do it. I'm just hoping that he has the fight in him to do this. But anyway, he got his goal, and he looked a little bit sharper after the goal. He genuinely did look sharper after that. And he might get a run of games now. Maybe Jesus might be back straight away if it is just a cut. But if he's out for a week or two, it's just a guess this. Maybe he'll get a couple of games to get his confidence back. But obviously, Aguero still has a massive part to play in City's title running, potentially. And that is the big word. Is it going to be a title running? Well, we've been here before. We've chased down Liverpool from about 8 and 9 points. We've chased down United famously. We can do it. No team is infallible. No one is. We all fall into this trap of thinking that teams won't drop points and they'll all storm away from it. Chelsea might do that, but there is absolutely no guarantee that they're going to do this. City are more than capable of going on a big run. We are more than capable of outplaying Chelsea when we play them and beating them. And as long as we match their form until that point, we'd be then 5 points behind them. And then there would be no guarantees that Chelsea would hold their nerve. It can happen, and it can happen again, and it will happen again. In football, it's all about surprises. It always has been. I'm not saying we will do it, but I'm not saying it's over either. And I don't really see the point personally of acting like it's over. Football for me isn't about just giving up. I like expecting the unexpected. I like being surprised by football. I like that angle to it. I want to be naive. I want to be optimistic because football's better that way, in my personal opinion. I understand why some don't want to get hurt, don't want to get burned, but personally, I couldn't give a fuck personally. I just like enjoying what I see in front of me. And the thrill of the chase, I want that. I don't want to resign ourselves to fourth. I want to go for it, and I suspect we will go for it. And if we don't get there, so be it. But I want to see improvements, and I think we are getting there, and I think we can catch Chelsea potentially. If we don't, fair enough. But let's not give up yet. In general, though, I actually think we are showing signs of improvement. That's 7 wins out of 10, 3 in a row now. And, it's encouraging. We're gaining a little bit of grit defensively. I thought we were pretty good. I thought Caballero, even though his distribution was at times maybe a little bit slow, he looked in control, I would say. Defensively, we look more comfortable with him behind the back four at the moment, or the back three, or whatever it is. They look assured with him there. Maybe it's because they're used to how he plays. Maybe it's because he's been there for a while. It just looks like a relief, and there's been a weight off the shoulders of the defence. Bravo, I don't think he's a bad keeper. I think he's in terrible form, and I think he's confident in his shot. And I think Willie doesn't have those nerves at the moment. And there was a couple of good moments as well. That kind of sliding tackle and a good save from outside the area as well. He had a decent game. I thought Pep got it right. I thought he got it spot on. I thought all the players applied themselves excellently. And I thought the away fans were great as well. I could hear them. And shout out to the guy in the crowd who was saying, fuck off Mourinho all night. Some people on Twitter thought that was me. It wasn't me. I am here in Manchester, unfortunately. But if I was there, I would have been joining as well. But yeah, to me, this team is going in the right direction. I think we all forget how bad we were last season. Apart from the first few games of the season under Pellegrini, we were by and large woeful. Most victories were like pulling teeth, and there was very little to garner from it. It was just genuinely kind of boring victories, the kind of ones where we scrape through. I don't really see that. I see the signs of a young team with new ideas developing here. I see that blossoming ideology that Pep wants to put in place. And I think we'll get there. I think we are going to have a better season than last year. I think the ideas are good. I think we are refreshing the squad. We're obviously seeing the budding signs of a potential MSN challenging forward line. Maybe not that good, but stylistically, it's a very similar ideology. It might not reach that level because not many ever will reach the level of the MSN forward line, but it's going to play in a very similar way. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be full of goals, pace, and skill. And I think we should enjoy it. I think we should. I thought Silva also was magnificent tonight. He does things with football that you cannot teach. A couple of touches, one in particular where he kind of controlled it over his shoulder and he sent Wilshere back to the hospital. It was wonderful stuff. And there was a little drop of the shoulder around the 85-minute mark where it's the kind of stuff that just goes unnoticed, but it's just genius. It's just actual genius. And he was brilliant. His link-up play with Sane on the left, there's some very encouraging signs of a quickly developing partnership there. The amount of free balls he played down the channel for Sane, who I thought had a good game in general, but maybe was a little bit hesitant with some of his decision-making. But there is a partnership there. And I thought De Bruyne was quietly effective as well, as he always is. Maybe the ball didn't go for him quite as much, but he still played some beautiful free balls. And another day could have had a couple of assists as well. Kevin De Bruyne being Kevin De Bruyne, basically. But yes, I do think we're going the right way. I think we're adapting to the style. I think we're getting what Guardiola wants slowly but surely. There will be big bumps in the road. Do not get me wrong. I expect that will be the case. But I also think we'll get it right often. And I think we'll get it right more often and more frequently as we kind of progress under Guardiola. We need a big summer now. We need a big summer where we revolutionise our fullbacks, where you get some youth, some legs, some pace into our defence. And I'm sure we will do that. I struggle to be negative. I'm not trying to be a happy clapper, but for a team that was in crisis 10 games ago, we're now second. We're looking a lot more reliable than Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, United, in my personal opinion. And we're in a good spot to put a little bit of pressure on Chelsea. If you can't enjoy that, I don't know. It's good. It's good in my opinion. Anyway, guys, go and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Who was your man of the match? And I will see you for another video in a day or two. Probably not tomorrow because it's Valentine's Day. If you haven't got a Valentine, go and find Louis Sane because he's a beautiful man. See you later, guys.